Time is on to the fourth GOP presidential debate hosted by NewsNation. We have a live look at the debate stage on the campus of the University of Alabama. Just 12 hours from now, we'll have four presidential hopefuls taking to the stage, trying to present themselves as an alternative to President Trump. He is skipping this event, as he has done for all of the GOP primary debates. President Biden will be holding a news conference following the debate tonight with his response. Longtime Democratic political strategist and former special advisor to President Bill Clinton, Guy Smith, is here. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, let's get down with this. Both parties, of course, looking to gain those independent voters. Which of these candidates appearing tonight do you think appeals most to independents?
I don't know which of them. It won't matter. And here's why it won't matter. It won't matter because Donald Trump is so far ahead, and he will be the nominee of the Republican MAGA wing. Now, what that means is that those independents have nowhere to go. They have nowhere to go, and most of them will go to Joe Biden. And the reason is because all of these candidates, all five of them, these four on the screen there, plus Donald Trump, have taking positions that are contrary to where most Americans are. Abortion, gutting Obamacare, gutting Social Security, not helping Ukraine, not helping Israel. They can't get their act together. And their MAGA Mike fella at the Speaker of the House keeps bringing up issues like the J6 tapes yesterday. He's going to protect all the insurrectionists. That's not where the American people are. And Senator Gregg in the last segment said it. Independents are going to make the big difference in this. And that's what's going to make Joe Biden the next president.
Okay, but do you really believe, don't you think that most Democrats and most Republicans are somewhere in the middle? I mean, you spoke to the MAGA right, but in terms of the broad swath of American voters, don't you believe that most are moderate, and yet they might have one hot button issue like the border or like abortion?
You're absolutely right. But here's what will happen. Republicans are 30% of the total electorate. Of the Liz Cheney kind of Republicans, the Republicans like Senator Gregg, they are part of the Republican electorate. But the MAGAs make up only 17% of the overall Republican electorate. I'm sorry, of the overall national electorate. And with Trump being the nominee and only 17% in a general election, you know, Senator Gregg said Trump's a dead man walking in the general election next November, and he's absolutely right. And what will happen is those conservative Republicans that are not MAGA won't vote for Joe Biden. They'll just stay home.
You think that the majority of Republican voters, first of all, where are you getting those numbers from, the 17%? Where's that statistic from?
If you take where self-identified, this is in all the major polls, self-identified Republicans, about 30% of the electorate, 32% Democrats, everybody else independents. And then you do the arithmetic on 42% of the Republicans say they're MAGA. That's where you get the 70s. It's very early in the morning for arithmetic.
But it is pretty early in the morning. But you think that the majority of Republicans who aren't far right or MAGA, as you described them, are going to stay home from the election?
Yeah, you saw that in the midterms. You saw a lower turnout, and then you're going to have higher turnout from the Democrats because you have these very energizing issues like abortion. Look at what happened just recently in Ohio. The Republicans just got their hats handed to them over that issue, and Ohio's a red state. It's not a blue state.
Well, oftentimes when you see something like that happen, the following election, you actually see an emboldening and less apathy because they realize what happened or their losses in the midterms. But really quickly, what do you think that President Biden's response will be following tonight's debate?
He's going to talk about the economy and the jobs and the infrastructure, and that he is not going to gut Obamacare. He's not going to cut Social Security. He's going to help Ukraine. He's going to help Israel. And he's going to do something about the border. And frankly, if I was advising President Biden today, in the Senate, there was a fist fight yesterday over helping Ukraine and Taiwan and Israel and the border. The Democrats don't want to have the border, and it just put the border in it. and then you got everything taken care of. And if you put the border in the bill and it passes, you've taken away a Republican issue.
You make a good point there. And not a lot of Democrats are talking about just put the border in there, and hopefully that actually leads to some action.
Behind the scenes, there is some of that kind of conversation.
Yeah, well, it would be really great to see action beyond the words. That would be really nice in 2024. Guy Smith, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.